I have to admit, I completely burned my toast this morning.
Oh, no, not the Monday morning special.
Yeah, I'm talking absolute charcoal. And as I was scraping that black dust into the sink, I found myself wondering if the universe was just, conspiring against my breakfast.
It definitely feels that way sometimes before you've had coffee.
Right. But looking at our research stack for today's deep dive, I realized something. The universe is actually working incredibly hard just to get that bread warm in the first place.
It really is. I mean, we tend to think of a toaster as this simple click and wait device.
You push the lever down and wait.
Exactly. But inside that little metal box, you've got this absolute masterclass in physics happening every single morning.
And that brings us to this really fascinating, maybe slightly controversial idea we're looking at today. Let's call it the quantum breakfast theory.
I love that name.
It's this very romantic notion floating around that the electrons in your toaster are actually defying classical physics, like literally tunneling through energy barriers, like tiny ghosts walking through walls just to brown your bagel.
It's such a compelling narrative, isn't it? Because it frames your everyday morning toast as this huge subatomic triumph.
Right.
It suggests that without quantum tunneling particles literally bypassing insurmountable energy barriers, the heating element just wouldn't work at all.
It paints this wild picture of electrons magically teleporting because they can't climb the energy hill. But before we determine if my toaster is actually a quantum teleportation device, let's talk about another kind of complex intelligence.
The kind that powers your business.
Precisely. Because we want our appliances to be magic. And honestly, we want our software to be magic too.
And that is where Embersilk comes in.
Yeah, if you're trying to figure out where AI agents could make the most impact for your business or even your personal life, you need to check them out.
If you need help with AI training, automation, integration, or software development, it's about finding that most efficient path to a solution.
Exactly. So go to embersilk.com to see what they could do for your AI needs. Okay, so getting back to the heating element.
The teleporting electrons.
Right. I really want to believe my toast relies on particles walking through walls. Is this romantic claim actually true?
Well, I hate to be the one to ruin the magic, but we have to look at the scale here. The tunneling theory is a great story, but the reality of a nichrome wire.
That's the nickel chromium alloy glowing red in there, right?
Exactly. The reality of that wire is a lot less ghostly and a lot more violent. It's something called Joule heating.
Okay, so this is where we get into the Drude model of conduction. We aren't really seeing electrons slipping through secret quantum doors.
No, we're seeing them smashing into things. Think of it less like a ghost story and more like a really intense mosh pit.
A subatomic mosh pit.
Yeah. In the Drude model, the electrons are being aggressively shoved through this crowded dance floor by the voltage. And every time they crash into an atom in the lattice...
Like bouncing off impurities and vibrations?
Precisely. They scatter and they transfer kinetic energy. That kinetic energy becomes heat.
So the magic isn't the electron defying physics. It's just the sheer chaos of the electrical resistance. We're essentially mistaking a traffic jam for teleportation.
That is a perfect way to put it. Tunneling is a phenomenon that really dominates at the nanoscale. We see it in flash memory or nuclear fusion.
But a toaster wire is macroscopic.
Right. It's an ocean of electrons. The probability of them all tunneling together is statistically zero. If you somehow took away tunneling entirely, the voltage would still just push the electrons over the obstacles.
Not through them.
Not through them, exactly.
Okay, so the tunneling idea is a bust just due to the sheer scale of the toaster. But looking at our sources, there is a quantum element here that we can't ignore. The toast turns brown because the wire glows red.
Yes. And that is where the real quantum magic actually hides. You literally cannot explain that red glow, which is blackbody radiation, without quantum mechanics.
Oh, because of Planck's law.
Right. Max Planck had to invent the entire concept of quanta just to explain why the toaster doesn't blast us with infinite UV radiation the second you turn it on.
Which would be a terrible way to start the day.
Very bad for the kitchen.
So, in a way, the toast really is quantum. Just not because of tunneling, but because of how energy is packaged and released as light.
Absolutely. The toaster is a massive triumph of classical heating, but it's derived entirely from quantum material properties. It's billions of electrons scattering to create thermal radiation.
Which, when you think about it, is actually so much cooler than the ghost story. It's reliable, rugged human engineering, harnessing the fundamental laws of the universe just to make sure my bagel is crispy.
Thermodynamics is deeply impressive without needing to invent extra magic. And hey, if you really want to see tunneling in action, just look out the window.
At the sun.
The sun. Nuclear fusion relies entirely on quantum tunneling to keep burning.
I love that. It's a true partnership of physics. The sun tunnels, the toaster scatters, and we get breakfast. It just shows how incredibly capable we are at understanding and applying the rules of the universe to make our lives better.
It's a very bright future, one slice of bread at a time.
It really is. Well, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden optimistic world of your kitchen, please subscribe to the show.
And hey, leave us a 5-star review if you can. It really does help get the word out so we can keep exploring these wonders with you.
Thanks for tuning in.